Virtual reality has been a distant dream for gaming developers for decades, despite much promise and hype. But thanks to a California teenager's breakthrough technology, a whole range of virtual reality products are set for launch. Some of the biggest names in gaming are scrambling to get their headsets out first, and it's set to revolutionise how we play games and experience films and even news reporting. Josh Bavas has the story.
We're gliding through a tropical reef, being guided by the hand of a high-tech researcher.
It's actually seeing my fingers and I can fly through the reef.
This small infrared box reads Gavin Winter's hand movements and translates it to a computer, much like a mouse.
This was actually a Kickstarter project.
It will let you interact with a virtual reality world without the need of a mouse and a keyboard.
We are heading towards a major change in the way we interact with our computers.
It can also be used like this to detect detailed finger movements. In 2002, when Tom Cruise appeared in the futuristic film Minority Report, the technology was mind-boggling. These days, those gloves he was using are old hat.
The gloves are kind of old technology in that because they have particular types of interactions that you need to do with the glove, you're limited in what your interaction with that space is.
A variety of headsets will be launched early next year, making virtual reality more affordable than ever, with headsets costing a few $100s each. When you put one on, you feel like you're inside another world.
So once that we're fully immersed as a full physical being, the way our legs move, the way our feet move, the way our arms, our whole bodies will become a cursor. They will become the sort of avatar in that space.
It's what people have been dreaming about for decades and is now within reach.
When you see someone equip themselves with a headset and start pointing things out to the people around them, you can just tell how real the situation is.
It's some very strange cartoon landscape.
Gamers in the early 1990s had big plans for virtual reality. This was its beginnings, and it was considered amazing.
This is quite astonishing. I've never experienced anything like this.
It wowed crowds, but even the best sets made some users nauseous. Developers struggled to make it compact and cheap enough to market, and the graphics back then were basic. Then, in 2011, Californian teenager Palmer Luckey came up with an early prototype in his parents' garage. It's now known as Oculus Rift. He's become one of the richest men under 30 after Facebook bought his Kickstarter headset this year for about $2 billion. Tech giants like Sony and Samsung are scrambling to be ahead of the game to also bring it to market. But already you can enter a virtual world for just $10 thanks to basic cardboard goggles.
And immediately you get to have a VR experience of the city of Brisbane.
It's very cool. It is very lifelike, actually.
To go with all this new hardware, creators of games, movies and even news are working hard to prepare interactive content for the devices. This is how developers capture vision. Researchers at the Queensland University of Technology are using camera rigs like this one to record a 360 view of Brisbane. It's then used as a backdrop for this sequence of augmented reality. It's hard to portray on a two-dimensional television screen and is still a work in progress, but it's an example of what can be created. Students in this Brisbane lab are using virtual reality to help future users with things like memory recall and collaborative e-business.
So it's not going to be here's our hands and here's a screen, but we will have a physical presence.
What do you see the soccer thing? What do you see there?
So I think, yeah.
Late last year, UN documentary maker Garbo Aurora heard about the potential to make movies for the headset.
We wanted to really give people as close as possible to a visceral experience of what it's like to be a vulnerable person.
We have to play football quickly because there are so many kids waiting to play.
With a team of producers, he's created one of the world's first virtual reality documentaries. Of course, it comes with a screen width of 360 degrees.
My name is Sidra. I am 12.
Clouds Over Sidra follows the life of a real Syrian girl in a refugee camp. Garbo Aurora hopes documentaries like this will give people greater understanding and empathy.
The technology helps magnify and amplify it. It really is these people's stories. It really is the story and the construction that I think combined together is what's this new hybrid that I think is groundbreaking.
And where there's opportunity, opportunists follow. Virtual pornography is already being trialled by Japanese developers, where robots and animation replace human contact.
So I think what will happen is as more and more people experiment with different ways of using this technology, our imagination of how we're going to use that and in what context is going to expand, exponentially.
And I just got strapped on.
And media agencies like the New York Times are dabbling in immersive news and current affairs.
I started seeing the face appearing between buildings and then his legs, and then I was like above it, and I was like, whoa.
It's really an accelerating thing. We're going to see it come faster and more furious.
It's an incredibly cutting-edge, pioneering technology, as you know, and not something that's easy, something that can be very expensive and difficult to produce.
It's set to change the way we record the world around us.
Being able to recreate environments like hospitals, like buildings, like crime scenes, and we can really experiment with those scenarios to improve the types of ways we work and play in those environments in the future.
But right now, it's all about entertainment.
Josh Bavis reporting.